there, and Hartley just kind of falls and makes collision with that hit the floor hard, and she is being helped off the floor heading back. Sophie Cunningham's season just took a brutal turn, and the headline is as loud as it gets. Bria Hartley sued and suspended after assaulting her on the court. Yes, you heard that right. The WNBA's physical play crossed into straight-up, reckless chaos. So, the question is simple. Has the league completely lost control? Let's break it down. What's your take? Was this play dirty or just bad luck? Comment your thoughts below. It's sad. It's very, very sad and unfortunate what has happened to Sophie Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham, let's be clear here. Sophie Cunningham was targeted. Let's be very, very clear here. Well, let's not kid ourselves here. Calling what Bria Hartley did to Sophie Cunningham an accident is like calling a mugging a handshake gone wrong. Everybody saw the clip. Sophie Cunningham didn't just trip. She didn't just stumble. She was taken out. The kind of basketball play that only exists in some bizarre alternate league where the refs double as blindfolded mall cops. She can get a lot of people in foul trouble. Now, before anyone jumps in with the classic basketball is physical, it happens. Line. Let's set the record straight. There's physical, and then there's targeted assault. Sophie Cunningham, love her or hate her, plays tough, plays aggressive, but she's not out there yanking ponytails, dragging people by the head, or throwing players down like it's UFC fight night. That's Bria Hartley's specialty, and this isn't some one-time mistake, either. Hartley's rap sheet looks longer than a CVS receipt, pulling Angel Reese out of the air by her hair, throwing Becca Allen down like she was a sack of laundry, and now ending Sophie Cunningham's season. That's not hard-nosed defense. That's a pattern, a reputation. And honestly, the league pretending it's not happening is about as believable as a politician promising lower taxes. My goodness. Let's talk about Sophie for a second, because this isn't just some benchwarmer we're talking about here. Cunningham came into Indiana and immediately gave this team something it desperately needed. Fire, fight, and let's be honest, actual production. She was hitting shots, defending like her life depended on it, and most importantly, she had Caitlinclark's back when no one else would. You talk to Sophie Cunningham, she'll say, I'm trying to wrap her up. But I do think that's what she was. She wasn't scared to mix it up. She wasn't scared to get in somebody's face when Clark got hammered for the 10th time with no whistle. And now gone out for the season. Knee injury, maybe Achilles, who knows yet. But what we do know is that Bria Hartley made sure Indiana lost the one player who wasn't afraid to protect their star. As we went to commercial, Sophie Cunningham hit the floor hard, and she is being helped off the now. Let's zoom out, because this isn't just about one dirty play. This is about a league-wide problem. How many injuries have we seen this year? How many times has the WNBA been forced to roll out rosters that look like they were pieced together from a pickup run at LA Fitness? Caitlinclark missed more games than she's played. Sophie's done. Sydney Coulson tore her ACL. A.R. McDonald broken foot. And yet, somehow the league office still parades around talking about how this physicality is a badge of honor, a selling point. Really? Because last time I checked, fans don't pay money to watch the IR report scroll across the bottom of ESPN every week. And here's where it gets even more ridiculous. The referees. My God, the refs. These people make WWE referees look competent. Sophie Cunningham gets knocked down, bringing the ball up the floor 75 feet away from the basket. Obvious foul, right? Nope. Play on. Sophie complains. Gets a tech. That's the clown show we're dealing with. Honestly, half these refs should be working the drive-thru at McDonald's or handing out Windex at stoplights, because refereeing, clearly not their lane. Game Sophie Cunningham went down. It did not look good. I heard her saying no, no, no from the court. It was heartbreaking. I am hoping, this is the hope, that it was more of like a bruised knee type thing. There aren't many updates as of yet, but she will be getting an MRI. So hopefully we'll hear something tomorrow. But judging by the way that the WNBA, expands on injuries, it's probably not going to be a lot. But my guess is that she's And what about Kathy Engelberg, the commissioner? What does she do? Talks about players needing to rest more, avoid off-season leagues. Oh, really? That's the excuse. Newsflash. Caitlinclark didn't play overseas. Sophie Cunningham didn't play overseas. They're both hurt, both out, because your league allows WWE moves under the rim while referees whistle Dixie. It's laughable. Let's not forget the lawsuit part of this headline. That's right. Bria Hartley isn't just suspended, she's being sued. And honestly, she should be, because when you cross that line from tough defense to career-threatening cheap shot, you're not just breaking basketball rules. You're opening yourself up legally. Sophie Cunningham has every right to go after Hartley for damages. Missed salary, medical bills, lost opportunities, it adds up. And it sends a message that if the league won't protect its players, the courts might. And don't think this lawsuit is just about Sophie. This is going to open a can of worms. Because if Hartley can get sued, what's stopping the next player who gets slammed to the ground from doing the same? What's stopping Angel Reese from saying, "Hey, she pulled my hair, endangered me, I'm filing too"? The WNBA is about to find itself in uncharted waters. And frankly, they asked for it. You want to know the saddest part? This was all predictable. Everyone knew Hartley was a problem. Everyone knew she played dirty. Commentators warned about it. Fans called it out. Sophie herself probably knew it, but the league let it go because controversy sells and physical play keeps the old heads saying the women's game is finally tough. Well, congratulations. You got your toughness. You also got your star players in rehab and your reputation in the mud. Let's take a step back and compare this to other leagues. Remember the NBA in the 80s and 90s? Guys were getting clotheslined, elbowed in the throat, knocked out of the air, and eventually the league realized, hey, maybe we shouldn't let this turn into cage fighting. Rules got stricter. Flagrants got handed out. Suspensions actually meant something. And guess what? The league thrived. Stars could actually stay on the court. Fans got to see the best players night after night. Shocker. Meanwhile, the WNBA is acting like it's never seen this movie before. They're running the Bad Boys Pistons playbook 30 years too late. Except this time, the stars can't survive it. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room, Caitlinclark. Because whether you like it or not, everything in this league somehow comes back to her. Sophie Cunningham was one of the only teammates actually standing up for Clark, taking the hits, dishing some back, and sending a message that Indiana wasn't just going to roll over. Now Sophie's gone, and Clark is even more exposed. You think opponents won't notice that? You think Bria Hartley and her friends won't smell blood in the water? Please, Clark's about to become even more of a target, and Indiana just lost their enforcer. And yes, Clark's in her second year now, not a rookie anymore. But it doesn't matter. The WNBA still treats her like a sideshow. Every foul, every shove, every cheap shot is a chance for the league to prove it's tough. And now the Fever are paying the price again. Now here's where things really start to spiral. Because if the WNBA doesn't get its act together, this won't just be about Sophie Cunningham and Bria Hartley. It'll be about every player wondering if they're one hard foul away from a lawsuit, a suspension, or worse, a career-ending injury. And you can bet agents and lawyers are watching closely. Partly suspension is one thing, but this lawsuit, that's uncharted territory. For years, people laughed at the idea of suing over a foul. But this wasn't a foul. This wasn't incidental contact. This was a deliberate act that went way past basketball. And if Sophie wins, or even settles, it could open the floodgates. Think about it. What's the league going to do when players realize they don't just have to rely on refs or the commissioner for protection? They can go straight to court. That changes everything. Suddenly, a player like Bria Hartley isn't just worried about a 2-game suspension and a fine. She's worried about paying damages, losing endorsements, and carrying the reputation of being legally responsible for injuring someone. That's a whole new level of accountability. But accountability is something the WNBA has been allergic to this season. The refereeing, zero accountability. The commissioner, zero accountability. Dirty players, practically rewarded. And then they wonder why half the league is in walking boots and knee braces. Let's look at Indiana, specifically, because this team has been cursed with injuries. Caitlinclark out more games than she's played. Sophie Cunningham, season-ending injury. A.R. McDonald, broken foot. Sydney Carlson, torn ACL. The list just keeps going. And instead of looking at the real issue, unchecked dirty play, the league tries to spin it as bad luck or player overuse. It's insulting. What makes Sophie's situation worse is timing. She wasn't just playing well. She was thriving. She became the heart of this team's toughness. She was the one who stepped up when Clark got bulldozed every game. She was the one giving Indiana its edge. Now she's gone, and the Fever are left exposed. That's not just bad luck, it's catastrophic. And let's not pretend Hartley didn't know what she was doing. You don't grab Angel Reese by the hair one week, throw Becca Allen down the next, and then accidentally take out Sophie Cunningham. That's a pattern. That's who you are as a player. At some point, it's not coincidence. It's character. Of course, WNBA fans are split. Some are calling Hartley a disgrace, saying she shouldn't play another game. Others, they're shrugging it off, saying it's part of the game. But those same fans will be the first to complain when their favorite star is the one sitting out for the season after getting wrecked by a basketball play. It's always funny until it's your team, your star, your season ruined. And let's not forget the referees in all this, because without their incompetence, Hartley wouldn't even have the chance to build this reputation. If they had called her for flagrant fouls earlier, if they had tossed her for dangerous plays, maybe Sophie's still healthy today. But the refs let it slide. They always do. They hide behind, let them play, like it's some noble cause when really it's just laziness and fear of making the tough call. You know what the most embarrassing part is? Fans are starting to question if the league even wants players like Clark or Cunningham healthy. Think about it. The WNBA has been dying for attention for decades now. They finally have eyeballs because of Caitlinclark, Angelreese, and others.